Our top focus on Newspoint right now. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office has confirmed that the Israeli and Hamas negotiating teams have now signed a ceasefire hostage release deal in Doha today. The Prime Minister has convened a security cabinet meeting to hold a vote on the deal. Prime Minister office also said that the full cabinet will later convene to approve the deal without specifying whether that vote will also be held on Friday or Saturday. So on Thursday, Netanyahu accused Hamas of backtracking on parts of the agreement to extort last-minute concessions and vowed to postpone the cabinet vote until the issues were addressed. At least 2 cabinet members have voiced opposition to the ceasefire, with far-right National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir saying that he and his party colleagues will quit the government if it approved the deal.
With an abandoned agreement approved and implemented, we will deliver our letters of resignation to the Prime Minister, and the Otzma Yehudet party will not be part of the government, and we are resigning from it.
In addition to Ben-Gvir, far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has also opposed the truce, calling it a dangerous deal. Israelis supporting hard-right politicians blocked a highway in Jerusalem, denouncing the ceasefire agreement. They marched on a road junction, some with hands painted red. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken voiced confidence that the implementation of ceasefire will begin on Sunday.
On the ceasefire, yes, I am confident, and I fully expect that implementation will begin, as we said, on Sunday. Look, it's not exactly surprising that in a process, in a negotiation that has been this challenging and this fraught, you may get a loose end. We're tying up that loose end as we speak. I've been on the phone in one way or another all morning with Brett McGurk, with our Qatari friends, and I'm very confident that this is moving forward, and we'll see the start of implementation of the agreement on Sunday.
At a farewell news conference in Washington, D.C., Blinken's opening remarks were disrupted by 2 activists, with one of them shouting slogans. A pro-Palestinian journalist condemned Blinken's silence on Israel's ongoing genocide against Gaza's civilians. The journalist was carried out by security personnel after his repeated shouts.
Statement to block the ICJ orders. You blocked the ICJ orders.
Please, sir, respect the process. Thank you.
Oh, respect the process. Respect this process. Well, everybody from Amnesty International. From Amnesty International to the ICJ saying that Israel's doing genocide and extermination, and you're telling me to respect the process. Criminal, why aren't you in The Hague? Why aren't you in The Hague? Why aren't you in The Hague?
In the press briefing, Antony Blinken defended Biden administration's policies on Israel's war with Hamas.
I think one of the lessons that we have to take away is that as resourceful and as powerful as we are, at the end of the day, we can't make decisions for others. They have to make them. They have to make hard choices. They have to take chances. We can do everything possible to push, to prod, to encourage, to support, but ultimately the decision lies with those most directly concerned. That's one thing.
Furthermore, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has said that the hostage-ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas must be finalized before his inauguration on Monday. In a podcast interview, he said, "We changed the course of it and we changed it fast, and frankly, it better be done before I take the oath of office." The truce announced by mediators Qatar and the United States on Wednesday involves the exchange of Israeli hostages for Palestinian prisoners, after which the terms of a permanent end to the war will be finalized. Meanwhile, Gaza Civil Defense Agency said Israel pounded several areas of the territory after the deal was announced, killing at least 80 people and wounding hundreds. The Israeli military reported hitting about 50 targets across the territory over the past day. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan expressed concerns about Israel continuing its attacks on Gaza. He said the Israeli government must not be allowed to violate and exploit the ceasefire. On the other hand, Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis threatened to keep up their attacks if Israel did not respect the recently announced ceasefire. For more on this, we were earlier joined by Giorgio Cafiro. He's the CEO of Gulf State Analytics and professor at the Georgetown University. Listen to what he had to say on this.
There's no denying that in the Israeli cabinet, there are ultra far right, sort of fascist right wing figures who have a huge problem with this deal and do not want to see it implemented. These are figures like Smotrich and Ben-Gvir who want to see the war continue until Hamas is decapitated. They want to see Israeli settlements, Zionist settlements built on the ground in Gaza. They do not want the Israeli ground presence to withdraw. So they have their leverage. As we know, obviously, Israel is not a dictatorship with Netanyahu able to make all the decisions. There are these other figures in the government who do have their leverage, and I think they're trying to use it right now to prevent this deal from going forward. But Netanyahu, I think, is going to do what he can to cater to the interests of Donald Trump, who is going to be the new U.S. president for the next 4 years, starting on Monday. And I think when Netanyahu has to make a choice between keeping his coalition together, as much as he wants to do that, and pleasing the incoming U.S. president, I think he's going to elect for working well with Trump rather than keeping his coalition together in a manner that could possibly upset Trump. I think Netanyahu understands that ironclad support from Donald Trump is not something that Netanyahu should take for granted. Trump is notoriously unpredictable, and Netanyahu understands that.